Hi friends, welcome to Gallant IAS. This is Let's Score 120 Plus in Prelims 2021 series, and here we'll be solving a model question from Indian polity, and through that we will learn some core facts and concepts to boost your prelims preparation. And the question for today is, consider the following statements. As long as the Council of Ministers enjoys the confidence of Lok Sabha, the President cannot remove any ministers from office. The pardoning power of governor extends to the punishment given by the court martial since he is the constitutional head of a state. When an ordinary bill of state legislature, which is written by the president for reconsideration, is again passed by the state legislature, now it is not mandatory for the president to give assent to the bill. Okay, so regarding step number one, that is Council of Ministers. Okay, see Article 75 also mentions a concept called individual responsibility. This means a minister is under the pleasure of president. An individual ministry is under the pleasure of the president of. That means the president of India can remove any minister anytime. See, even if the Council of Ministers enjoys the confidence in the Lok Sabha, then also an individual minister can be removed by the president, but on the aid and advice of Prime Minister. Okay, see, as long as they enjoy the confidence in the Lok Sabha, the president cannot dismiss a council of ministers. No, the entire council of ministers cannot be dissolved if they enjoy confidence in the Lok Sabha. But an individual minister can be removed by the office by the president under the aid and advice of Prime Minister. Fine. Now read the question. As long as the Council of Ministers enjoys the confidence of Lok Sabha, the president cannot remove any ministers from office. No, he can remove any minister, but on the advice of Prime Minister. So statement number one is wrong here. Two says that the pardoning power of governor extends to the punishment given by court martial. See, regarding court martial, the pardoning power lies only with the president of India. I hope you all know that. So two is also wrong here. See, as I say always, when you study president, compare it that of vice president and the governor. When you study PM, compare it with CM. Okay, similarly, when you study Supreme Court, compare it High Court. So make a comparative learning always. When you study Panchayat, study with municipalities. Okay, in that manner, always make a comparison when you prepare well. When you study Attorney General, compare it with Advocate General. In that manner, fine. So two is also wrong here. Third statement says that when an ordinary bill of state legislature which is written by the president, see, when a bill is state bill is pressed to the governor, among that one among the option lies with governor is he can reserve the bill for the consideration of the president. Then the bill will be dealing between the president of India and the concerned state legislature. Okay, so once a president returned the state legislature bill, and after consideration it is again passed with or without amendments, now it is sent to president, and now it is not binding on the president to give assent on that bill. Okay, but see, if the governor returned a bill to state legislature and after passing with or without amendments, it is again sent back to governor. Now it is binding on the governor to sign. Similarly, president asks the parliament to reconsider a bill. The parliament reconsiders it and passed again with or without amendments, sent to president. Here it is binding on the president to sign the bill. But president sent a bill to reconsideration of the state legislature. It is again sent back with or without amendments. Here it is not binding on the president. These differences please note down. Fine. So 3 is right here. So answer becomes option C, that is 3 only. Okay. Which among the following statements is correct regarding Advocate General? Though Advocate General of State is appointed by the governor, he can be removed from office only by the President of India. An eminent jurist can be appointed as the Advocate General by the governor. Okay. So regarding Advocate General, he is the highest law officer in a state. And please note down, he is appointed by the governor as well as he is removed by the governor itself. It says that he can be removed from office only by the president of India. No, the Advocate General can be removed by the governor itself. So statement number 1 is wrong. An eminent jurist can be appointed as the Advocate General by the Governor. See, here we must know the qualifications of various constitutional officers. Okay, so regarding Advocate General, a person should be qualified to be a judge of High Court. I mean, what are the qualifications a High Court judge should have? The same qualification must have for an Advocate General. So, what are the qualifications of High Court judges? One is he should be a citizen of India, then must have held judicial office in the territory of India for a period of 10 years, or must have been an advocate of High Court or High Court in succession for a period of 10 years. So these are the qualifications for High Court judges. The same qualification applies to Advocate General also. So eminent jurist, that criteria is not there for High Court judge, but that qualification is there for Supreme Court judge. Why? Because an eminent jurist can be appointed as a Supreme Court judge, but an eminent jurist cannot be appointed as a High Court judge. So that's the qualification. Okay. So here it says that an eminent jurist can be appointed as a Advocate General by the Governor. No. Fine. But an eminent jurist can be appointed as a Attorney General by the President of India, not an issue. Why? Because Attorney General, the qualification is same as that of Judge of Supreme Court. These differences please note down. Fine. So both the statements are wrong here. Answer becomes option D, that is neither one nor two. Okay. Consider the following statements. The minimum age required for appointment as a judge of Supreme Court is 35 years. The number of directors of a cooperative society shall not exceed 21. Lakshadweep is a permanent member of Southern Zonal Council. Which one statement is correct? So regarding the age criteria for Supreme Court judges, see, there is no age criteria for appointment, okay, to Supreme Court judges as well as High Court judges. But regarding retirement, they can hold office for a period of till they attain 65 years of age in case of Supreme Court judges, and the High Court judge can hold office till he attains 62 years of age. But for appointment, no age criteria is mentioned under our constitution. Okay, but for appointment to judges of Supreme Court, the qualifications mentioned are should be a citizen of India, must be a judge of High Court for a period of 5 years, or must have been an advocate of High Court for a period of 10 years, or an eminent jurist can also be appointed as a Supreme Court judge by the President of India. So these are the qualifications mentioned. And age criteria for appointment is not mentioned under our constitution. So 1 is wrong. 2 says that the number of directors of a cooperative society shall not exceed 21. That is a correct statement only. In cooperative societies, the maximum strength of board of directors should be maximum. It should not exceed 21. Okay, but the actual number can be determined by the concerned state legislature. Okay, so 2 is a correct statement here. And Lakshadweep is a permanent member of Southern Zonal Council. See, what is Southern Zonal Council? See, zonal councils are established by the State Reorganization Act. Okay, based on State Reorganization Act only, State Reorganization Act of 1956. Based on that only, the zonal councils are established. So it is a statutory body. Okay, and in that the country is divided into various zones: north, southern, western, eastern zones divided, and by to foster the cooperation between the center as well as states. Okay, and among that, Lakshadweep and Andaman and Nicobar Islands are not permanent members of any councils. I repeat once again, Lakshadweep and Andaman and Nicobar Islands are not permanent members, and Andaman Nicobar Islands are not permanent members of any council, but they are only special invitees or invitees to Southern Zonal Council. Okay, so here says that Lakshadweep is a permanent member of Southern Zonal Council. No, it is only an invitee to Southern Zonal Council. So 3 is also wrong here. And the correct answer is option B, that is 2 only.